The lost colony of Roanoke stands as a captivating enigma in the annals of American history. Its story begins in the late 16th century, a time of exploration and colonial ambition. In 1587, under the patronage of Queen Elizabeth I and led by Governor John White, a group of about 115 English settlers landed on Roanoke Island, situated in modern-day North Carolina. Their mission was ambitious: to establish the first permanent English settlement in the New World. However, this dream of a flourishing colony soon turned into one of history's greatest mysteries. Governor White, forced to return to England for supplies, left behind a nascent community. Upon his delayed return in 1590, he found the settlement eerily deserted, with no sign of the colonists he had left behind. The only clue to their possible whereabouts was the word Croton carved into a tree. This disappearance has sparked centuries of speculation and investigation. What happened to the Roanoke colonists? Did they meet a tragic end, or did they assimilate with nearby Native American tribes? The lack of definitive evidence has turned Roanoke into a symbol of intrigue, inviting both scholarly research and popular speculation. The story of Roanoke is not merely a tale of a lost group of settlers, it is a narrative that challenges our understanding of early American history, colonialism, and the interactions between European settlers and Native American tribes. It's a tale that blends hope, ambition, desperation, and mystery, a complex mosaic that continues to fascinate historians and the public alike. As we delve into the history, theories, and cultural impact of the lost colony, we seek not just answers, but also a deeper understanding of the human spirit in the face of the unknown. The saga of Roanoke began with the first English settlement attempts in the New World, a period marked by both ambition and hardship. Before the famous 1587 colony, there was an earlier attempt in 1585 led by Sir Walter Raleigh. This initial endeavor, intended to establish a military outpost and a base for privateering against the Spanish, faced immense challenges. The settlers, primarily military men and adventurers, struggled with the harsh realities of the New World. They were ill-prepared for the demands of establishing a new settlement. Food shortages became a pressing issue, as they had limited agricultural knowledge and an over-reliance on supplies from England. Their relations with the Native American tribes, initially cordial, deteriorated rapidly. The Englishmen's lack of understanding and respect for the local tribes led to tensions and eventual hostility. The environmental challenges were just as daunting. The settlers found themselves in a land of extremes: unfamiliar climate, unpredictable weather, and a landscape that was both beautiful and treacherous. Their survival skills were put to the test in an environment that was vastly different from what they had known in England. These early struggles were compounded by internal strife and poor leadership. The lack of a unified vision and clear authority led to disorganization and conflict within the group. The morale of the settlers dwindled as their situation grew increasingly dire. Ultimately, the 1585 settlement attempt was abandoned, with the remaining settlers returning to England. This failure, however, did not dampen the English desire for a permanent foothold in the Americas. It set the stage for the 1587 expedition, which, under the leadership of John White, aimed to establish a more family-oriented and sustainable colony. This second attempt, while initially showing more promise, eventually culminated in the mysterious disappearance of the colonists, leaving behind a legacy that continues to intrigue and perplex historians and enthusiasts to this day. The vanishing of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the most intriguing mysteries in American history. Established in 1587, the Roanoke colony was led by John White, who left for England to procure supplies, only to return in 1590 to find the settlement deserted. This disappearance has sparked numerous theories, each attempting to explain what happened to the 115 settlers. Key facts: the Croton clue. Upon his return, John White found the word Croton carved into a post of the fort and crow on a nearby tree. White interpreted this as a sign that the colonists moved to Croton Island, now known as Hatteras Island, where they had friendly relations with the Native Americans. No signs of conflict. There was no evidence of a massacre or struggle. The buildings had been dismantled, indicating an organized departure rather than a hurried escape. Delayed return. White's intended return to the colony was delayed by 3 years due to England's war with Spain and difficulty in securing a ship. This long absence left the colonists without resupply and support for an extended period. Theories: integration with native tribes. The most widely accepted theory is that the colonists integrated with local Native American tribes. This is supported by reports of Europeans living among Native Americans in the region years later. Some historians suggest they joined the Hatteras tribe, as indicated by the Croton message. Moved inland or northward? Another theory posits that the settlers moved inland or northward in search of better resources, possibly integrating with other tribal groups. Spanish attack. A less supported theory is that the colony was destroyed by a Spanish attack, though there's little evidence to substantiate this, given the lack of violent signs at the site. Lost at sea. It's also speculated that some colonists might have tried to return to England on their own and got lost at sea. Starvation and disease. The harsh conditions could have led to starvation, illness, and death, though this doesn't explain the absence of remains or distress signals. Dare stones. A series of stones, known as the Dare stones, allegedly found in the 1930s and 40s, claim to tell the fate of the colonists through inscriptions. However, their authenticity is highly disputed. Despite extensive archaeological and historical research, no definitive conclusion has been reached about the fate of the Roanoke settlers. Their disappearance continues to be a subject of fascination and speculation, symbolizing the perilous nature of early colonial endeavors and the enduring mystery of the New World. The mystery of the Roanoke colony has prompted extensive archaeological and historical investigations, each aimed at uncovering clues about the fate of the lost settlers. These efforts have brought together historians, archaeologists, and scientists, employing modern technology and multidisciplinary approaches to solve the centuries-old enigma. Archaeological efforts. Excavations at Roanoke Island. Archaeologists have conducted numerous digs on Roanoke Island, searching for artifacts and structures related to the lost colony. These excavations have unearthed English pottery, tools, and personal items from the late 16th century, offering a glimpse into the settlers' lives. The Hatteras dig. Investigations on Hatteras Island, believed to be the Croton referred to by the settlers, have revealed a mix of Native American and European artifacts. This supports the theory that some colonists may have integrated with the local Native American population. The Site X. A recent focus has been on a location termed Site X, inland from Roanoke Island. Here, researchers have discovered a range of Elizabethan-era artifacts, suggesting the presence of English settlers in areas previously thought uninhabited by them. Historical research. Primary sources analysis. Historians have meticulously analyzed primary sources, including John White's accounts, maps of the era, and records from the period, for any clues about the settlers' fate. Native American oral histories. Some researchers have turned to the oral histories of the local Native American tribes, seeking stories passed down through generations that might reference the lost colonists. Spanish archives. Given the geopolitical context of the time, some historians have explored Spanish archives for any intelligence Spain might have gathered on the English colony, as Spain was England's main rival in colonizing the Americas. Technological and scientific approaches. DNA analysis. There have been efforts to use DNA testing to trace any genetic links between the modern residents of Roanoke, Hatteras, and the surrounding areas in the English settlers, though this has proven challenging. Remote sensing and geophysical surveys. These technologies have allowed archaeologists to identify potential archaeological sites without invasive digging. Tree ring analysis. Dendrochronology, or tree ring dating, has been used to understand the environmental conditions during the time of the colony's establishment, providing context about the challenges they might have faced. Despite these extensive efforts, no definitive answer has been found. The investigations have, however, enriched our understanding of the period and the interactions between European settlers and Native American tribes. They also underscore the complexity and difficulty of piecing together historical events from limited physical evidence and fragmented historical records. The story of the Roanoke colony, therefore, remains one of the most captivating historical mysteries of North America. The story of the lost colony of Roanoke has transcended its historical origins to become a significant part of American folklore and cultural identity. Its enduring mystery has sparked a wide array of interpretations and representations in modern culture, reflecting the fascination and speculative allure that surrounds this historical enigma. Symbolism and national identity. The story of Roanoke has become emblematic of the challenges and uncertainties of early American colonization. It symbolizes the bravery and pioneering spirit of the early settlers, as well as the dangers and unpredictability of the New World. Literature and fiction. Roanoke has inspired numerous works of fiction, from novels to short stories. Authors have used the mystery as a backdrop for tales of suspense, horror, and historical drama, often blending fact with imaginative speculation. Film and television. The Roanoke mystery has been adapted into various movies and TV shows, each offering a different interpretation of the events. These range from historically grounded dramas to more fantastical and supernatural renditions. Theater and performance arts. The story has also been portrayed in stage plays and musicals, where the dramatic and mysterious elements of the story are explored through performance. Art and exhibitions. Visual artists have been captivated by the imagery of Roanoke, often portraying the colony and its disappearance in paintings, sculptures, and installations. Museums and historical sites have also held exhibitions dedicated to Roanoke, showcasing artifacts, documents, and artistic interpretations. Educational impact. The Roanoke colony is a staple in American history education, often serving as an entry point for discussions about early colonization, Native American history, and the complexities of historical interpretation. Modern myth-making and conspiracy theories. The lack of concrete answers has led to the proliferation of various theories, some based on historical evidence and others bordering on conspiracy. This reflects a broader cultural phenomenon of myth-making and the human attraction to unsolved mysteries. Digital media and online discourse. In the age of the internet, Roanoke has found a new audience, with online forums and social media platforms buzzing with discussions, theories, and artistic interpretations of the mystery. The cultural impact of the lost colony of Roanoke demonstrates how history can evolve into myth and how such myths become ingrained in a nation's cultural fabric. It shows how a historical event can capture the imagination and continue to influence art, literature, education, and public discourse centuries after the fact. The story of Roanoke, therefore, is not just a historical mystery, it is a living, evolving narrative that continues to shape and reflect broader cultural and historical understandings. The article will conclude by reflecting on why the story of Roanoke continues to fascinate and the importance of historical mysteries in understanding our past. It will also highlight the potential for future discoveries that might one day unravel the enigma of America's lost colony.